Hello and welcome back to the Final K for Stage 3 of the Tour de France. There is currently 76 kilometres to go. We've got a big stage today, as you can see. Hello, Rubber, there as well. Sorry, seen your chat there before I went live, but that is the stage in the bottom right-hand. That's the stage in the bottom right-hand corner. We are currently sat. We've just started the Category 1 climb, the Col de Tosses. That is what we are currently on. Let me get the... No, that's not right. We've just started the climb. So I'll leave that red arrow there for a bit. But the stage today has been another hectic one to start off. I mean, it took the breakaway about 50 kilometers to get going. We have got a breakaway now, but the breakaway are about to be caught by the peloton. So they'll not be happy with that. We had crashes as well at the start of the stage. I think Vasek was involved in a crash. So was Bruno Amaral of Visma Leaseback. I think he was the one that came off the worst in that one. He hurt his right knee. And I didn't know, the way he was pedaling, it looked like he might have actually been, looking to stop and drop out. But he didn't. He's carried on. But he obviously isn't in the peloton anymore. Vasek was involved in the crash. There was 3 Netcompany riders involved in the crash. I think one was Kwiatkowski. So Netcompany's luck still not there with the punctures in stage 1 and stage 2. They're crashing in stage 3. So Netcompany's luck is still out. What else happened? Breakaway. Egan Bernal was trying to get in the breakaway. He couldn't get in the breakaway. When the breakaway did form this breakaway, which I'm going to talk about in a second, Bernal was in between the breakaway and the peloton, and he couldn't bridge across, which was unfortunate. I would have liked to see Bernal fighting for the stage today. There was other riders trying to get into the breakaway, but the riders that have dropped off, actually, Arnaud Delis dropped off almost immediately in that Category 3 climb at the start of the day. He didn't make it over the top in the peloton, so he dropped out the back. I think PCS are saying he's 14 minutes down, which is actually quite bad. Weisstroffer of Lotto Intermarché, he was tasked with going back to help him. They've also got PCS are also saying Decline of Tudor are in the group with Arnaud Delis, and so is Rob de Hunt of Picnic Post. But there's a massive group with all the sprinters, etc., that are 9 minutes down on the peloton. Obviously, Bruno Amaral in that group. Tim van Dijk is in that group. Kes Ball, Olav Koy, Matthew Riccatello's in that group as well. Ballerini, Tobias Foss, Kwiatkowski, Tim Merlier, Van Lerberge of Quickstep, Lewis Askey, Hubarts, Piet Algart, Milan Fretin, Biesterboss, Marco Vandenberg, Gaviria, and Alex Molinar, the polka dot jersey. He, actually, when the stage first started, Alex Molinar was the first one to attack in the polka dot jersey, and then that was all we seen of him. He put in an acceleration as soon as they hit kilometre 0, and then he went out the back of the peloton after that. Good morning, Steve. But that's what the group that's what PCS are saying, who's currently down on the peloton. There are countless other riders because the peloton is fairly small. But the breakaway up the road, we've got 18 riders up the road. There's 3 groups up the road, one of one rider, then there's a second group with one rider, and then there's a third group of 16. They've all just started attacking each other now on this Category 3 or Category 1 climb. So Balderstone of Caja Real is in the breakaway, so is Debolve of Total Energies, Michael Storr of Tudor Pro Cycling, Clement Brazafonso of Groupama FDJ, Aaron Barou's there, Nelson Oliveira at Movistar, George Bennett, the New Zealand national champion, Magnus Cort Nielsen is there. He actually dropped, so he did. He dropped towards the start of the stage, but he actually made it back into the peloton, and he's now in the break. Mauro Schmidt and Luke Plapp are in the break for Jayco. I mean, if there was a bigger gap on the peloton, I would say they'd be ones to look out for. Luis Vervaeke of Quickstep, Van Mechelen at Barry and Victorious, Harold Tejada, Prodholm, Alex Boudin, Mads Pedersen was in the breakaways. I think they just showed him dropping off the back of the breakaway, but he won the points jersey. Yeah, so Mads Pedersen and Aaron Brew have dropped off the back, so we've lost 2 riders in the breakaway. But Mads Pedersen wins the points sprint, and I think he's now virtually in the classification for the points jersey at the moment. I think they showed it up there, 37 points he's going to be on. But the second rider up the road, I'll do the first one. Raul Garcia Pierna of Movistar, he's the main rider up the road with a 10-second gap on Matteo Verche of Total Energies, and then 20 seconds down on Verche is the 14 other riders from the breakaway. So they are the peloton a minute and 41 seconds down. It was a lot smaller. The gap has increased slightly, so there's a bit of hope there. But we've got 5.9 kilometers to go for the Col de Tosses. That is how long is left for that climb. Then there's a descent down. Then we've got two category 3 climbs, one very long one and a 2 kilometer one. But there is Mathieu van der Poel. He was trying to get into the breakaway as well, so he had 2 attempts to get into the breakaway, and but he is unfortunately dropping here on this category 1 climb. The category 1 climb itself is 9.5 kilometers long at 6.5%, but they've been climbing for like the past 40-50 kilometers up just gradually. But now that they're onto the climb itself, I think it's the final 4 kilometers of the climb have an average of 9%, but I think it's the final 2 kilometers of the climb have like an average of like 10 or 11%. So as you get closer to the top of the climb, it gets steeper and steeper. Raul Garcia Pierna is actually increasing his time out the front here. He's gained an extra 5 seconds on Verchet, and he's gained an extra 7-8 seconds on the breakaway. The breakaway is actually starting to fall apart here, with Luc Plapp struggling at the back, as well as Luis Vervaeke, Balderstone. Them 3 are struggling at the back. The 3 riders at the front of this breakaway actually getting a small gap on the others. George Bennett is trying to close it down, but we've got Clement Brazafonso. Mauro Schmidt is also involved. There's 2 other riders. I just can't see them. Here are Nelson Oliveira and Bodin of AF Education. So the riders in the breakaway, like I said, it's 1:52. I don't know if the breakaway is going to get this one. I actually forgot to upload my prediction to YouTube last night. My prediction for the stage was Ben Healy, but that obviously isn't going anywhere because he's not in the breakaway. I also said if it did go to a GC rider, or it became a GC day, I said Paul Sexas would, but I don't know why I said Paul Sexas. I just had a feeling that Paul Sexas would win it. AF Education, just speaking over the radio, keep your eyes open. They can also stop. I don't think they get rid of it. I should have read that out quicker. But I think they were telling Alex Bodin to just keep his wits about him, because the peloton could slow up and he could be caught out if anyone else attacks and he's not able to go with them. But what was I talking about? My prediction, I said Paul Sexas if it did become a breakaway. Or no, if it did become a GC day. I mean, Paul Sexas yesterday, obviously he wasn't really there in the finish. I think he finished in the top 10, but I mean, he just wasn't there in the sprint because he did have that 2 bike changes and he had to use a lot of energy and effort to get back into the peloton. But I mean, I've got a bit of hope in him. You know, it's not the final 2 climbs. The final climb 1.7 kilometers at 7%. I don't see why he couldn't do a wee attack on that. Maybe get up the road in the final kilometer. There's Mads Pedersen and Aaron Buru getting caught by the peloton, which is being led by UAE Emirates at the moment. They've got 4 riders at the front of the peloton. Who's that I think that's Isaac Del Toro in the green jersey. I was wondering who that was at the back with the green helmet. What group is this? Verchet and Van Mechelen is attacked out the front of the breakaway as well, so he's caught up with Matteo Verchet of Total Energies, and they can see Raul Garcia Pierna up the road there. They have a 17. Actually, they don't have a 17 second. That's a Bodin group. I would say they've got about a 5. Raul Garcia Pierna has a 5-second gap on these 2 riders. Yeah, definitely. So this it might become a small group of 3. They've got about 30-40 seconds on the rest of the breakaway. 4.2 kilometers until the top of the Col de Tosses. They had someone working for TNT at the top of the climb with all the crowd. The crowd at the top of that climb looks really, really good. They're obviously all wearing the polka dot clothing and stuff like that. But this stage as well, no fans for the final 40 kilometer. Well, I mean, if you live in the area, you're not like in lockdown or anything, but no traveling fans in the final 40 kilometers because of the wildfires that are going on at the Pyrenees at the moment. So it might look a bit derelict on the side of the road, because the fans in the first 2 stages and this stage have been brilliant. So it's going to be a big miss for no fans on the side of the road. Obviously, you're going to get a couple, like you'll probably get a handful of riders here and there for people that live in the area, but you'll not get the big crowds. But as for the riders in the breakaway, that's what I was actually trying to get onto earlier. Michael Storr had a very good Giro d'Italia, getting top 10 in the GC. He could definitely go on to win this stage. I think he would have preferred it to be more of a mountainous finish, but nonetheless, I think he could do very well. Clement Brazafonso, he's another one. He got the points classification there in the Auvergne Alps. So he knows what it's like to be in a breakaway, getting points, and he could hopefully get a victory for Groupama. That'd be massive for the French team. Very, very big. Magnus Cort Nielsen, he's another one. I mean, not the best when it comes to, the big climbs and stuff, but he's a very good puncher, a very good versatile sprinter. He's the new Danish champion, so we're just seeing Van Mechelen here. He's slowly dropping Verchet of Total Energies, and he's bridging across to Raul Garcia Pierna right now. I'd say the gap between each of the three riders are all very similar at the moment, but Verchet is definitely the one that is struggling the most. We've got Jens Voigt on here. I want to hear what he's saying. He's speaking into the mic and I can't hear him. Oh. All right, so Jens Voigt saying that UAE were talking to him and said they have no plans, as their entire team went to the front of the peloton to control it. But the UAE apparently have no plans for the stage. So Visma Leasebike, he asked Visma Leasebike what they thought of UAE being at the front. They said maybe they want to take the stage and potentially take yellow. So that's what Visma is saying. UAE say they have no plans for the stage. But that is that's what Jens Voigt was talking about for the two main teams of the race. Back to the breakaway, Alex Boudin, Nicolas Prodhomme and George Bennett are three riders to attack out of that, was 14, 16-man breakaway. Now is a 10-man breakaway down or back the road. So Van Mechelen, Raul Garcia Pierna and Matteo Verchet are up the road in a group of three. 30 seconds down, actually 20 seconds down now, sorry. Alex Boudin, Nicolas Prodhomme and George Bennett. And then we have got a group of 10 in between Alex Boudin's group and the peloton. I think Alex Boudin is definitely in a good position to, we've seen him in stage 1 of the Auvergne Alps. He went on in a breakaway. They weren't able to catch him in the end. I think he won by, how much did he win by? 32 seconds he won by in the end. And the peloton was 44 seconds down. So, and he took the yellow jersey in the first stage. He is currently 1 minute and 7 seconds down on GC. So, I mean, Alex Boudin in the yellow jersey. He's done it before. Could he do it again in the Tour de France? I think at the moment, 1 minute and 57. So it is slightly going up. It is playing into the favour of Alex Boudin. But he needs to catch the main three up the road here. But UAE have their full team at the front of the peloton here. Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe are the... No, it's not actually. It's Visma Leasebike in the team behind. Isaac Del Toro in the full green kit with the green helmet. That's class. But at the front of the race, UAE Emirates with their full team, or whatever team, all their teammates that are remaining, obviously. Visma Leasebike are the team in behind. Obviously, they've no Bruno Amaral after his crash. He couldn't make it onto the peloton after that crash. And then we've got Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe as well. They're the third team back, so there. Quinn Simmons, I've seen him in the peloton. He was another rider trying to get into the breakaway today. Obviously, he would have been another big danger for the stage win, but he unfortunately didn't make it into the breakaway. Maybe we see him tomorrow, because tomorrow's stage looks like another breakaway stage. But I actually forgot to talk about the GC. So that's the new GC after stage 2, where Isaac Del Toro went on to win it. Jonas Vingegaard in first, Tadej Pogacar second, now 6 seconds down. He was 12 seconds, so he has gained back 6 seconds. Remco in third, 15 seconds down. Isaac Del Toro in fourth, 16. Juan Ayuso 19 seconds down in fifth. And then there is a big jump from, well, I mean, not that big of a jump, but the biggest jump we're talking about from Juan Ayuso to Paul Sexas. Oh, crash. Someone unclipped from the pedal, I think. Mechanical there on the climb for Niels Pollitt. Yep, mechanical for Niels Pollitt on the climb there. He's lucky no one went down after or behind him, because he moves to the right hand side of the road and then sort of just stops in the middle of the road and everyone has to swerve around him. I hope UAE close the gap to the breakaway so we can see some GC action. I mean, GC action on stage 3. We've seen it in stage 2, but I think it would be a bit more prominent here with the long day. It's 196 kilometers, 4,000 meters of it was 4,000 meters of climbing. So there's a lot more work in the legs needed for the GC guys. So I think if it does become a GC, obviously it still can become a GC battle if the breakaway do go up the road, but it'll be very interesting to see if the breakaway do get caught. But here we go, Alex Bodin, Nicholas Prodom and George Bennett have caught up to the other 3 riders, that being Van Mechelen, Raul Garcia Pierna and Matteo Vacher. So that becomes a group of 6. 41 seconds down the road is the group of 10, consisting of Harald Tejada, Luis Vervaeke, Luke Plapp, Mauro Schmidt, Magnus Cort Nielsen, Nelson Oliveira, Clement Brazafonso, Michael Stohr, Joris Delbov, and Abel Balderstone. Surprised none of the Jayco riders went with Alex Bodin there. You know, I thought Mauro Schmidt would have went. I think Luke Plapp was working for Mauro Schmidt in the breakaway, but I'm surprised Mauro Schmidt didn't try and make the jump. They're showing the back of the peloton at the moment, and Roman Gregoire as well as Lenny Martinez are at the back of the peloton. Obviously, neither going for GC. They will be going for stages. Lenny Martinez will probably be going for the polka dot jersey as well. But, I mean, it plays into their favour, I guess, unless there's something wrong with them. But it plays into their favour. More time lost in GC, so there's less eyes on them if they do go into the breakaway. Richard Carapaz, I forgot about that. Richard Carapaz was trying to get into the breakaway at the start of the day, and Visma were not having it. Every time he went, they went to the front of the peloton, and they shut it down immediately. But Alex Bodin is at the front of the breakaway at the moment. 69 kilometers to go. Let me change this. So Niels Pollitt has made it back onto the peloton, but he's at the very back now. He's going to have to do a lot of work to get onto the front to join his teammates again. But we've got 69.7 kilometers to go. UAE are still at the front. You see Tadej Pogačar, see Isaac Del Toro. Who is that? Is that Mauro Schmidt? It looks like Mauro Schmidt. I can't tell anymore because he doesn't have the Swiss national jersey, but it doesn't look like Luke Plapp. Yeah, I think it is Mauro Schmidt. So Mauro Schmidt was the first one to drop out of him and Luke Plapp at or is it Luke Plapp? I think it's Mauro Schmidt because PCS have taken Luke Plapp out of the breakaway, so unless Luke Plapp has already dropped, but at the little Trekker moving to the front off the peloton now. Quinn Simmons, Vasek, Roman Gregoire has now dropped completely off the peloton. He's got his teammate in Lorenzo Germani there alongside him, pouring water over him, clearly overheating. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning. Roman Gregoire just passed the Total Energies rider almost at a standstill, and here's the crowd wearing dinosaur costumes running up the side of the road. But Alex Bodin out of the saddle at the front of the breakaway. 1.2 kilometers until the top of the Col de Tosses. Obviously 10 points up for grabs here, so I think whoever wins this one's going to win the obviously going to go into the virtual KOM jersey, because the next 2 climbs only give 2 points each. The winner of the first categorized climb of the day, the category 3 one, was Valentin Paripantre. He got 2 points. Javier Romo got the 1 point. But Alex Bodin is leading the rest of this 6-man breakaway into the final 1 kilometer as they hit the final 1 kilometer now off the Col de Tosses. Nicholas Prodom in second wheel, Raul Garcia Pierna in third wheel. We've got who's that? Van Mechelen, in fourth wheel. Matteo Vacher in fifth, and George Bennett in sixth wheel. So that's the order at the moment. I have a feeling Alex Bodin is going to be going for this one. There's Ben Healy. Oh dear. Ben Healy dropped off the back off the peloton. Was hoping he would have been in the breakaway, hoping he would have went for the win, but I mean, as of late, his performances haven't been the best. This season hasn't really been that good. But I hope he could. I hope he could have, and I hope he does turn it around. As the Tour de France goes on. But he has dropped out of the back off the peloton. So yet again, hopefully that plays into his hands. More time down, more leeway in the breakaway. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, do as Rubber says. There will be GC action today for sure. I hope so. I didn't. There's Ben O'Connor dropping off the back. Everyone's dropping now. Whoa. A lot of riders dropping. They were just focusing on Ben O'Connor there. Who's that for Jayco as well, dropping off the back. Mauro Schmidt, so he's been swallowed by the peloton and spat out the back very quickly. But as for GC action, I hope there is. I didn't expect there to be, just because stage 3. And, we've still 18 other stages to go after this one. So, I mean, GC action, better for us, I suppose. I hope there is some GC action. Got no clue if Pogačar wants a stage. It isn't too hard, unless he wants to win in an uphill sprint. I mean, if Tadej Pogačar wants to win this stage, I said it, I obviously didn't upload my prediction for it, but if Tadej Pogačar wants to win this stage, Tadej Pogačar will win the stage. He could have won the stage yesterday. I said it for stage 2 yesterday. If he wants to win the stage, or if he doesn't want to win the stage, but obviously he gave the stage to Isaac Del Toro. I think the same is going to apply here. If he wants to win it, he can go on and win it. The gap is now 1 minute and 45, so it was close to 2 minutes. It's now dropped down to 1:43. Kevin Vauquelin as well. He's dropping out the back of the peloton here. Net Company aren't having obviously no GC riders going into this tour. 300 metres to the top of the climb. I want to see who goes on to win this. Alex Bodin still at the front. The crowd's out in full force. Stage 3 and the crowds are going crazy. But you might as well enjoy this crowd while it lasts, because there is going to be no crowd in 28 kilometres. But look at this. This crowd is crazy. Maybe they're treating this as their finish line, because the crowd out here, obviously, I'm pretty sure they're still in Spain at the moment. Or maybe they're, I don't know where exactly they leave Spain and go into France. But they finish the stage in France. They go through the Pyrenees. But I'm not actually sure of it. Oh, it does actually. It says there the border. So they're still in Spain now. They cross the border in about 20. They cross the border as soon as the no crowd zone hits. So in about 28 kilometres, there's no crowd, and that's when they cross the border. But 75 metres, Alex Bodin looks over his left shoulder. He's getting the points. I thought Nicolas Prodom was going to nip it there around the right hand side, but he didn't. Is Bernal still in the break? He never made it into the break. He tried to get into the break. He was in the first couple of breaks. He kept getting brought back, and then when the break did form, he attacked, but it was too late, and then he was sitting in limbo. He was about 40 seconds down on the breakaway, and he was about 40 seconds ahead of the peloton, so he was just sitting in limbo, and then he was on his own as well, so there was no chance. He was bridging across, and then he ended up just getting caught by the peloton, which is unfortunate, because I would have been cheering for Egan Bernal to get a stage win. Obviously, he won the Tour in 2019, and he didn't win a single stage when he did ride that and did win it. Ben O'Connor just can't get it together. It seems so. With Jayco, the form just hasn't been there. Maybe that's why he's potentially, the rumour is he's going back to decathlon. Obviously this time decathlon CMA CGM, but maybe that is the thought process behind that. He had good form there, and maybe he's looking for that good form to return. Obviously he'll be going stage hunting in this one. I wasn't really expecting him to be in GC, but for him dropping so early in stage 3 of the Tour de France, it is a red flag, I suppose. Is it still hot weather? It is very hot. Look at the crowd there. That crowd's class. For a category 1 climb in the middle of the stage, and the crowd's out like that. Brilliant. But the weather is still scorching. So it is. Everyone's still getting water poured all over them. There's the peloton crossing the top of the climb there now. UE still at the front. Tadej Pogačar sat about 4th wheel. Isaac Del Toro on his wheel as well. But they've got the camera on the back of the peloton. The rider's struggling to hang on. Who is that for Little Trek? Is that Carlos Verona? No, Tom Scoins. Tom Scoins is the latest rider to drop from the back of the peloton. Yesterday he could have gapped everyone by 5 seconds minimum. Yeah, he could. I mean, he could have. I just don't think he wanted to. Like towards the end of that stage when Isaac Del Toro was crossing the line, Tadej Pogacar was just casually riding alongside him, making sure no one was going to come up on the inside. But it was very nice to see Del Toro get that win, well deserved win as well, and how he took that sprint. So the results of the KOM, Alex Bodin wins it. He gets 10 points, so he's virtually going to move into the leader of the KOM jersey, provided he does finish today's stage. Nicholas Prodom, he's in second now for the virtual KOM with 8 points, and Raul Garcia Pierna, he is in third with 6 points. I've actually was meant to change the. Let me go through it now. So obviously that's the GC on your screen. I was talking about it, the big gap between Juan Ayuso and Paul Sexas. And then it goes from Sexas, Gregoire Lipowitz, Lenny Martinez, and Tom Pidcock is the first rider in the top 10 to hit the minute mark. So we're getting into the minutes now in the top 10 after stage 3. For the points jersey, that was how it was looking for before today's stage. Isaac Del Toro obviously in green after winning yesterday's stage. Alex Molinar, I'm actually going to change that red arrow because I always forget to turn it off. But Alex Molinar in second. He won the intermediate sprint yesterday, so he got 25 points, and Tadej Pogacar got second. That's why he's on 25. But as it stands now, Mads Pedersen, he got 4th or 5th in the intermediate sprint yesterday, and he won the intermediate sprint today, so he goes into first in the green jersey on 37 points. So that's how it is virtually looking. For the polka dot jersey, now I've just read out what it is, but that's what it was before today's stage. Molinar was in the polka dot jersey. He dropped out the back of the peloton way early on in today's stage. And then as for the white jersey, Isaac Del Toro is in the white jersey. Juan Ayuso 3 seconds down. Isaac Del Toro took the white jersey off Juan Ayuso there, but Juan Ayuso is still going to be in the white jersey because Isaac Del Toro is in the green jersey. So Juan Ayuso still wearing the white jersey, obviously not in it because Isaac Del Toro took the 10 bonus seconds in yesterday's stage. Paul Sexas 26 seconds down in third. And then you can see as you get down into the white jersey, we're starting to hit the big gaps with Vasek in 10th place, 5 minutes and 58 seconds down. Kian Uterbrooks as well, he was another one with question marks above his head there today. The first climb, that category 3 climb at the start of the stage, he dropped out the back of the peloton. And there was a lot of question marks. I can't remember if one teammate went down. I think one teammate waited at the back of the peloton for him to get back on. I don't think they actually dropped back to help him. But Kian Uterbrooks, he's going there. It's his first big proper top 10 GC sort of type thing with Movistar after moving there. And it's not starting well. Obviously, he dropped as well in the team time trial very early on. And he's dropping in stage 3 again. So maybe he changes the top 10 GC hopes for a stage win. He did say in an interview that if he had to pick between top 10 and GC and a stage win, he would pick the top 10 and GC, but he might have to reevaluate that one. Or maybe he grows into the tour. Maybe he gets better as it goes on. But, for the first 3 stages, it isn't looking good. So it is not. But let me go to the favourites for the stage. They're just showing, we're on the descent now down towards the next climb and the border to France. But UAE are still at the front of the peloton. Visma Bike are still the second team in the peloton, and I think Red Bull it's either going to be Red Bull or Little Trek as the third team. But as for the favourites for today's stage, they are the favourites. I didn't make this list. I go onto a website, get the odds off it, and then go with that. So Tadej Pogacar, obviously the main favourite today. Breakaway guys, Vasek, Gregoire, just in case there was a breakaway there, sat 14-1, tied for second. Mathieu van der Poel 16-1, but he's dropped as well. So Roman Gregoire and Mathieu van der Poel have both dropped. So if you did have any money on them, I'm sorry, but you've lost your money. Remco Evenepoel at 18-1, Isaac Del Toro 20-1, Ben Healy 25-1, Maxime Van Gils 28-1 as well as Quinn Simmons, and then Jonas Vingegaard as the 10th favourite for 33-1. That was actually who AI went with today. I asked AI for their prediction. They went with Jonas Vingegaard to win the stage. I went with Ben Healy. So, I mean, AI's still in it. I'm completely out of it. How bad is the final climb at the finish? So the climb for today, the final climb, is 1.7 kilometers long at 6.7%. Let me see if I can get a. Oh, great. Pro cycling stats just, shuts down. That's good. See if I can get it loaded back up. But if you are just joining, we are on the descent of the Category 1 climb, which Alex Boudin did just take all 10 points on. I think PCS has crashed. Oh, great. I'm going to be doing this one blind now. PCS is like... it's a great help, but no PCS anymore. So we're just... oh, hold up. Was it loading? No, it's not. But the final climb anyway, 1.7 kilometers at 6.5%. I don't know if there is a... I think there might be a section on it, which obviously is red. Oh, here we go. We're up. I think there's a section on it which is red in steepness. But the end of the climb is the finish line as well. So there's no flat section after it. There's no descent down towards the finish or anything like that. The top of the climb is the finish line. Oh, great. It's just not loading. But the same... Was there 5 riders now in the... 5 riders now in the breakaway, maybe? But Alex Boudin, Nicholas Prodom, Raul Garcia Pierna, Van Mechelen. Maybe George Bennett dropped off there. I'm not sure, but... No, it's still the same 6 riders. Boudin, Prodom, Van Mechelen, George Bennett, Raul Garcia Pierna, and Matteo Verche. The same 6 riders are in the breakaway. Let me see. I was trying to get the profile for this climb. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, so the final climb, whoa, it is actually quite steep. So they're doing it in 400 meter sections on this graph. So the first 400 meters, 6%, and then the next 800 meters are sitting about 7%. And then the final 500 meters are about 6%. So it is actually quite steep there in the middle section. We're into the final 60 kilometers now. Into the final 60k, not long to go. The gap for the peloton is it's averaging out. It's sort of finding its own wee area in the 150, 145, the 155 section. We're sitting at 148 at the moment. That is what the gap is looking like. As for the 10 riders that were behind, so there was a group of 6, then there was a group of 10, and then there was the peloton. I think that full group of 10 has been caught now. Pretty sure they did get caught. I didn't see them crossing the top of the Category 1 climb. I've seen the peloton do that, so I think they have been caught. So it's up to these 6 riders with a gap of well, I mean, we're on a descent, so when we are on a descent, I don't really trust the time gaps, but we went from 150 to 130 there in about 10 seconds. So the time is dropping very rapidly, but it's up to these 6 riders to try and get a stage win out of it. If I had to pick one of these 6 riders to go on to win it, I think my money would be on Alex Boudin. I think he would be the strongest. Nicholas Prodom would probably be second strongest in my opinion. Raul Garcia Pierna maybe, but he was the first one to attack. He had a lot of time on his own. When Alex Boudin attacked, he had Prodom and George Bennett with him. But I think Alex Boudin would be the strongest here. I mean, Matteo Verche, I've got him in my fantasy team, so I'm glad to see him there. Tadej Pogacar sat in third, I think it was third wheel there, unless there was a few riders in front of him, but the helicopter camera there just caught it, and I'm pretty sure I saw him in third wheel. Jonas Vingegaard is moving towards the front as well. Obviously on the descents we always see Vingegaard straight at the front of the peloton, trying to minimize any damage if there is a crash. He always likes to be at the front. $57 kilometers to go. The kilometers are fairly dropping now. We're close to the border of France, getting closer to the border. So we're the Grand Depart of Spain is almost over as we're finishing this stage in France. But I want to see what happens, because the next climb they're gonna hit, the Col du Calvaire, I think is how you pronounce it. Don't quote me on that, but it is the next climb. It's a Category 3 climb. However, it is a very long one, 11.5 kilometers long, and has an average of 4.2%. There are no big steep sections on this climb. It's just a very long. Oh no, there actually is. From kilometer, the first The first 3 kilometers, there's a section of 6.5%, but that's about as steep as it gets. It's just long and dragged out. So it is, but it is still 11.5 kilometers, nonetheless. Love to see Matteo Verche in his blue shoes in any breakaway. In the office who can't watch live, thanks for this commentary at least. No problem. No problem. I'll be doing this commentary every single day for the Tour de France from stage 1 to stage 21, so that is the plan. So if you are new, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe as well, as I will be here until the 26th of July doing this. So we're back at the front of the peloton. UAE are still there. Pogacar sat in 4th wheel, Isaac Del Toro in 6th wheel, and we've got Visma Leaseback. I think they've only got about 4 riders there. So I think Jonas Vingegaard is sat in 2nd wheel off the 4 Visma Leaseback riders. Then it is Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, the team behind. So it's still the same 3 teams at the front of the peloton. UAE have been at the front of the peloton though for quite some time. There is please don't tell me that's Verche. No. There's someone caught. I don't think it is Verche. I hope it's someone else. I think it was his teammate that wasn't it. There was a teammate of Verche in the breakaway. Who was it? Let me see. Delbov. Joris Delbov. Hopefully it was him and not Verche. The gap is now 130. So it was sitting roughly in around 145 to 155 on this descent. It has dropped down to 130. But like I said earlier, when we are on a descent, I don't really trust the time gaps on a descent just because the speeds are all over the place. I had Garcia Pierna to win, but I think the peloton gets this one. I think you're right. I think the peloton is gonna catch him here fairly soon. I think UAE, obviously Jens Voigt was on earlier. He said he was talking to the UAE team car and they have no plan for this stage. But I mean, it definitely looks like there is some form of plan. Tadej Pogacar alongside his teammates there having a wee chat. But the UAE go on. I mean, Tadej Pogacar is probably going to win this stage. Let's be honest, he's probably going to win this stage. And then Skelmoser wins from the bunch. Skelmoser is not a bad shout now. He was there involved in the sprint, the final, hill at the end of yesterday's stage. He was at the front on the descent, and he actually opened up a gap on the peloton on that descent as well. And then Isaac Del Toro came around the corner like a motorcycle around that corner, and then took over and then sprinted up the hill. But Skelmoser definitely has. I'm not counting Skelmoser out. So I'm not, especially on a stage like this. Yeah, a Skelmoser win. It would be very good. It would be very good to see. Who's this at the back of the peloton now? Mario Schmidt picking up a bottle from the little Trek car. Is that Tom Scoins? Did he make it back on? Yeah, Tom Scoins made it back onto the peloton. He got dropped there at the top of the Col de Tosses. Vasek towards the back of the peloton. A lot of little Trek guys towards the back of the peloton, obviously getting water bottles because that's what Tom Scoins was doing. A lot of people raising their arms in the air now, and we go to an ad break. Of course we do. Of course we go to an ad break. There's actually another. There's actually another race on today. The Sibiu cycling tour. It finished up a massive climb. So it did. Lorenzo Finn won yesterday, and Lorenzo Finn wins again today. Wout Poels takes second. But I mean, Lorenzo Finn, he's on fire at the moment. Won the Baby Euro, and he's now winning. I think yesterday's stage, his win was his biggest, or not his biggest. It was his first professional, cycling race win. It was something along those lines. But he wins there today, beating Wout Poels by 13 seconds. How many stages is it? Tomorrow's the final stage, and Lorenzo Finn is the leader in GC by 55 seconds. So it looks like Red Bull's future for the next in the next couple of years could be in safe hands with Lorenzo Finn. Hopefully it is. Wild Pole's in second. Points for more UCI points for the Unibet Rouge Rockets. I'm sure they will take that. Where's Wild Pole's in the GC in this one? He's in fourth in GC, 2 minutes down. So he is. Do you think DeLee makes it? It's going to be a very tough one for him to make it. PCS are saying he's currently 16 minutes and 40 seconds down. I hope he makes it, and I hope he overcomes whatever he's, it's viruses. There was the Giro d'Italia. He did make it to the team presentation as well as half the team because they had that, illness or something from cow manure in training, and then he ended up dropping out of the Giro d'Italia, and I think it was stage 10 potentially. No, he was planned to drop out. It came out that it was planned to drop out for stage 10, and then he ended up abandoning in stage 4. Fast forward to the Tour de France. Well, actually, before the Tour de France, we actually seen him pick up. He went to the Tour de Wallonie, got a stage win there, was looking promising, and now we're at the Tour de France, and he misses the team presentation with a virus. He abandons in the recon for the team time trial. He was crying in the car and everything. People were saying he was crying in the car. Apparently it was heartbreaking. He finished the team time trial. He went into stage 2. He dropped in stage 2, and now in stage 3, and he's dropping in stage 3 in the first 20 kilometers, and he's 17 minutes down at the moment. So it's not. It isn't looking that good for DeLee, unfortunately. And you're asking there, what about Weisstroffer? I mean, I'm surprised Weisstroffer was the guy that they sent back to go and help DeLee, because he's like Mr. Breakaway. We've seen him countless times in the breakaway this season. He tried to get into the breakaway yesterday, and obviously it was unsuccessful. I think he tried about 2 or 3 times to get up into the breakaway. But, I mean, to send Weisstroffer back, I mean, I wouldn't if I would have kept him on for the breakaway. But hopefully Arnaud DeLee does finish in the time limit, because if he doesn't, Arnaud DeLee's out of the time limit, and Baptiste Weisstroffer's out of the time limit, and Lotto Intermarché lose two of their riders. All the other sprinters are currently 11 minutes 30 down. So, Olav Koy, as well as Tim Merlier, Milan Fretin. I don't know where Benyam Gramaya is now. His teammate Lewis Askey is, supposedly in that group that's 11 minutes and 30 seconds down. But Matthew Riccatello's in that group. That's what it was. Matthew Riccatello was involved in that crash with Bruno Amaral. I forgot about that. So Bruno Amaral, Matthew Riccatello, they were involved in the crash. I think Tobias Foss was as well as Kwiatkowski. But yeah, Gaviria as well for Carriel. He's another sprinter that has dropped that did drop very, very early on. But we've now got back to the live coverage. 47.6 kilometers to go. I think they have finished the descent. Yes, they're closing up on the border. If you are just joining the live stream, like I said, 47.5 kilometers to go. There are 6 riders currently up the road. Alex Bodin of AF Education, Nicholas Prodom at Decathlon CMA CGM, Vlad Van Mechelen of Barry and Victorious, George Bennett, the New Zealand champion NSN, Raul Garcia Pierna at Movistar, and Matteo Verche of Total Energies. They're the 6 riders up the road. And there was a bigger group. There was a lot bigger group, including a lot of good riders as well. Harold Tejada, Luke Plapp, Mauro Schmidt. They were all involved, but they got caught, and they weren't involved in the riders that attacked out of that breakaway to go up the road. And that group, I think it was about 10 riders, they got caught by the peloton in the end. So they did. I hope Amaral is okay. That would be a big blow. Affini, he crashed in the team time trial for the Italian championships. He was a question mark, and then he finally got the green light. But I think he's probably still not as strong as he would like to be. Bruno Amaral, he's another big tank for Visma Leasebike. If he his knee's probably done now. Need to see how that is after. But there could be question marks above his head for the rest of the tour. So there's two big guys for Visma Leasebike that aren't 100%. Hello, Cat. Hello, Cat. How does the cutoff time work? So I think they work it out from the leaders work, or the organizers work it out, and then whatever it is, I think someone said they're 26 minute. Whoa. See, 26 minutes. On my screen it says 16 minutes. But the way the cutoff time works, the organizers work out some, a certain time that all the other riders have to finish in. So just say it's 30 minutes. If Arnaud Lee's sitting 31 minutes down and he doesn't finish in that 30 minutes, then he's out of the tour. He has to finish within that time limit that they set. So they have to finish within that time limit that is set. If they don't, then they're out of the tour, which is unfortunate, but they have to do it so, people don't drop off the back and, have a wee Sunday ride for 2 hours. They did have something on the radio there which I missed. I'm gonna skip back and see if I can get it because. Right, so hold up. UAE were on the radio. I'm not watching it live. I wanted to see what was said here. Tim, just go as long as possible. So they're telling Tim go as long as possible, but don't go too deep. There's a long way to go. I mean, so Tim Wellens is at the front for UAE, and he's been told to do all the work, but not do too much work, if that makes any sense. But hello, Paige. I like this. I drive around for work all day and check in and out of the tour between stops in the United States. They don't play the tour on the radio. Well, no problem. I'm happy to be your radio host for the Tour de France. Bonjour, Pact. The graphic says 20. Oh, yes, sorry. You're right there. You're right, Noah. I was going off PCS. You're right. The on-screen live coverage is saying 26 minutes for Arnaud Delis now. So I think you're potentially right there. It's going to be very hard for Arnaud Delis to turn this round. There we go as well. The polka dot jersey, Alex Molinar. He is currently 18 minutes down as well. So a lot of here. Depending on what the time limit is, we could see quite a lot of people finishing outside the time limit, depending on what that time limit is. Hello, Shelley. Hello. Where's Taddy? Taddy is sat right now in 5th wheel from the front. He's got Isaac Del Toro in front of him in the 4th wheel. But the gap is 130, staying at 130. It was 150 earlier on. On the descent, they brought it back 20 seconds, and it is staying at 130. We're getting closer. We're about 4 kilometers off the border of France, and then that is when all of the crowds are supposed to cut off with government advising. We will see how that does turn out, and if people actually do listen to it. But the firefighters, right? They're showing we're on a bit of a flat section here now, so the riders are still just soaking themselves with water. It must be very, very warm. Can I get the weather now? Um, 30 degrees, something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Average temperatures are 33 degrees and a max of 36. Oh, the fact that PCS have just updated they've just sent something in there for there we go, across the border. No. There you go. We're into France and the crowds are still out. they've got 3.6 kilometers to get back inside. But the crowds on the border are massive. I don't think we are. There's no way we're. I think that sign was saying France in such and such kilometer. I thought that was the actual border. Maybe they're building up. I don't know. I'll see in a couple of kilometers if they are in the France or not. But the temperature at the top of the climb, it was sitting about 31 degrees. On the descent, it dropped to 29, and right now it's sitting about 32. But it was hitting maximums of 36 degrees there about about 70 kilometers ago. 43 kilometers to go. And yeah, PCS just said they have crossed the border to France, so that was the border. I thought it said Francia and then like 1 kilometer or something. The crowd here at the border of France, you can't even get a space at the side of the road, and some sections are like two people deep, and you're just on a flat section. Nothing's happening. They're just passing through. That's crazy. Well, maybe everyone that was planning to go up the road has congregated here at the border. But there is a mechanical for an Astana rider, that being Harold Tejada. He was involved in the breakaway earlier on, but he was caught by the peloton, and I don't think he's making it back onto the peloton with that mechanical. It's odd to see Wellens not in his usual Belgium national champ. Yeah, it is. It's because I'm so used to seeing them in their national championship jersey. Like Maro Schmidt, he's not in the Swiss one anymore. Wellens isn't in the Belgian. Dorian Goudon isn't in the French. So it's a lot harder to pick them out now. So it is. How do you think Antonio Tiberi will do in the overall? I mean, he's meant to be their leader for the GC, obviously because Caruso's going to be team captain and he finished in the top 10 in the Giro. Lenny Martinez is going to be going for the polka dot jersey and stage hunting. So I mean, I think he's the only rider that could be their GC leader. I don't see him finishing top 10. You know, he was good in the UAE Tour. I was hoping for a bit better in the other races that he rode in, but he wasn't really there in any. So, I mean, I think he'd be going for top 20. I don't think top 10's on the cards. Possibly top 20, or maybe he starts going stage hunting and trying to help Lenny Martinez in the breakaway. But, I mean, I would like to see him. I always say that with people. I would like to see them. I'd like to see anyone do well, but I just don't think Antonio Tiberi is going to be in the top 10 for GC. Did I see the bear in the side boot? No, I didn't. Was there actually a bear? Could you imagine that cycling along the side of the road and there's a bear? I'd be done. Just commented on the cycling day, and you should join and do a call the race together. Would definitely do that. Yeah, 100. I would do that as well. I mean, the only downside of potentially doing that is there could be a delay. You know, if we're on a call together, he could be like a couple hundred meters in front of me. I could be a couple hundred meters in front of him, obviously watching the race. So it's getting that all linked up and synced up perfectly. But 100%, I would be down. I know 32 to 36 would be tough cycling in. I can hardly watch this in the same temperature on the beach, bar, drinking beer. What a way to rub it in. What a way to rub it in. Predictions for this one, I went for Ben Healy, and he had dropped out of the back of the peloton a way earlier on up the Col de Tosses, so my prediction's out the window. Well, I mean, my second prediction, which I suppose if it does happen, I will 100% claim, but I said if it did become a GC day, I'm going for Paul Sexas to win it. Don't know why. First name came to mind for this sort of, 1.7 kilometer, 7% hill. I thought Paul Sexas, why not? But we will have to see. So I guess my prediction is now changing to Paul Sexas, even though Ben Healy was my main one. AI predicted Jonas Vingegaard to win it, which I thought was a bit odd, but I mean, why not? He could do. EF Education on the radio. Alex, you're still working against Wellens alone. Not easy for him. It's very hot in this section. Okay, stay cool, keep drinking. We're just telling Alex Boudin that pretty much they're fighting against Tim Wellens because he's the rider at the front. Like I said earlier, the team radio was saying to Tim Wellens, you stay at the front, you do the work, but don't go too deep. They're showing the virtual general classification at the moment. PCS just put it up. Alex Boudin is the leader of the yellow jersey. 18 seconds down is Jonas Vingegaard. Tadej Pogacar 24, Remco 33, and Isaac Del Toro 34. Screen share would work. I don't know. I don't know the technology side, so I don't know how it would actually work. Yeah, I would. You would need. Well, I would need to look into that, but I'm not 100% on how it would work. Even AI knows Eunice needs every second he can get. I think yesterday just showed that photo that came out yesterday when Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogacar across the line with their arms in the air, and you just see Jonas Vingegaard in the back looking up off the handlebars with just a face of pure exhaustion on him. I just looked at that and I thought, it's going to be like this all tour. Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogacar 2v1, and I hope that's not the case, but just that photo, it was just no, stage 2, and we've already got that photo. Hello from Italy. Hello, Matteo. Welcome. Congratulations on England winning over Mexico. Not gonna lie, I wanted Mexico to win. I heard it was a very good game. 37 degrees, Barcelona, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh. Tiberi is already 6:30. Is that where he's currently sat on GC? Oh, I mean, yeah, it might be stage hunting with himself and Lenny Martinez. I can't see Bahrain getting the win. I mean, if Tiberi does, scrap the GC, help Lenny Martinez, and him and Lenny Martinez and someone else, if Van Mechelen goes into the break with them, they get 3 up the road. I could see Bahrain going on to win a stage, but definitely with someone like Lenny Martinez. We've seen him do it. I mean, we almost seen him do it, in the Tour de Suisse. But he had Jaws hunting him down in Tadej Pogacar. So I could definitely see Bahrain winning a stage. And I hope if they do win a stage that it is Lenny Martinez, because he does deserve it. But they were just showing the front of the peloton, and can you guess who the leading team is at the front of the peloton? I will give you one guess. It was UAE Emirates. You were all in for the 3 lions. Tim Wellens still at the front. Obviously, we've seen Brandon McNulty at the front in stage 2 yesterday for a good chunk off the circuit until the final. Was it the final? Yeah, it was just up until the start of the final Montjuic climb when Tish Benoit then took over and he went, and Brandon McNulty was done. But it's Tim Wellens' job today. He's at the front chasing him down. The gap is 1 minute and 31 seconds. Oh dear. So the TNT are showing that they've got someone with someone on the ground at the top of this next category 3 climb, the Col de Calvaire, and the fans at the top of the climb. There's a massive crowd at the top of the climb. Yeah, there's a big crowd at the top of that category 3 climb. So obviously not taking the government's advice. There's 2 fans there on the side of the road. Arrest them. But we've still got the same riders in the breakaway. The same 6 riders. Alex Boudin, Nicholas Prodom, Vlad Van Mechelen, George Bennett, Raul Garcia Pierna, and Matteo Verche. We are currently on the 11.5 kilometre, 4.2% category 3 climb. That is where we are currently sat. After that, there's a small descent, and then another hill, another descent, and then we're up to the finish. But this is just a long drag. We've seen, what was it? We've seen. Oh no, I was thinking the one in the Giro d'Italia where all the sprinters dropped, but that was a category 2 climb. This is category 3, but it is still 11.5 kilometers, 4%. In this heat, it'll be a lot. There's Tim Wellens done for the day. He's now beside the UAE team car out the back of the peloton, getting the feed. So I think that's Tim Wellens done for the day. Arnaud Delis, update on the ones looking for where Arnaud Delis is. He is 28 minutes out the back of the peloton. Nose is itchy. And then we've got Alex Molinar, Caja Real, the polka dot jersey. He's 18 minutes and 40 seconds down as well. I would love to know who's in this Alex Molinar group. PCS are saying that it is a group of 19 riders, but it's been the same 19 riders for the past, I'd say, near 70, 80 kilometers. Those riders, I mean, I'll say what riders they are, but I'm not 100% sure if they are in this 18-minute down group. But it's Bruno Amaral, Tim van Dijken, Kes Ball, Olav Koy, Matthew Riccatello, Davide Ballerini, Tobias Foss, Mikhail Kwiatkowski, Tim Merlier, Van Leberg, Lewis Askey, Hugh Bartz, Piet Allegard, Milan Fretin, Fritz Biesterboss, Nicholas Markel, Julius Vandenberg, Fernando Gaviria, and Alex Molinar. They're the 19 riders that are supposedly in that group 18 minutes down, but yet again I don't 100% know. All I know is the polka dot jersey is involved in it. Bruno Amaral and Matthew Riccatello as well. I'm pretty sure Tobias Foss and Kwiatkowski as well, they were involved in a crash at the start of the day when the breakaway was forming. Bruno Amaral and I think Bruno Amaral definitely came off the worst in that one. Hurt his right knee. Not 100% sure on how it actually is, but he's continued on. Matthew Riccatello, I think there was some blood on him as well, but apart from that, I think everyone else is okay. No abandonments at the start of the stage, which is good. Obviously, one person still has. There's only one person to have abandoned. That is Clement Berthet of Groupama FDJ. He crashed in the team time trial. But we've got 36 kilometers to go. Change that to 35. Van Mechelen is now at the front of the breakaway. George Bennett in second wheel. Alex Bodin in third wheel. Obviously, Alex Bodin and Nicholas Prodholm they've been the two majority at the front of this breakaway for quite some time, as Van Mechelen pulls to the side. As soon as Van Mechelen does that, George Bennett then pulls off and Alex Bodin is back at the front. So it looks like the breakaway's been put on Alex Bodin's shoulders. Obviously, he would be the strongest in this breakaway, like I said earlier, in my opinion. I think if there was the breakaway were to go on to win it, I think Alex Bodin could do that. Maybe if it did, maybe he's doing too much work. Nicholas Prodholm could potentially. Raul Garcia Pierna as well. He's good on the hills, but I don't think the breakaway is grabbing this one. Peloton 1 minute and 20 seconds down. Tim Wellens, his day's done. He was working a lot for the peloton. I'm not 100% sure who's at the front now. Obviously UAE are at the front, but I'm not 100% sure what riders are at the front now. But it should start to pick up soon. I think over the top of the what was I saying? It should start to pick up after the final climb. If you can hear a buzzing, by the way, or anything in the background, there's someone's getting work done to their house, and I mean, I don't know what they're doing, but it's very loud. So if you can't hear that, apologies. But we are now on to, is that them starting it? I thought they were on the climb. They've started it now, so we have 11.5 kilometers here of this category 3 climb, and it's only starting. So we will see what the peloton does on this one. If you up the tempo, see how many other riders drop out the back. But I thought they were on the climb, but they're not. Nicholas Prodholm at the front for the breakaway. The time is increasing for the time is obviously still sitting around the same for the peloton, but for the two other groups out the back, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So here we go. Peloton, who's at the front? It looks like Groschartner, potentially. I think, yeah, commentators just said Groschartner. So Groschartner is the lead, or is the man at the front for UAE. Then we've got I see Adam Yates there, Isaac Del Toro, Pogacar sat in 5th wheel. The team in behind is Visma Lease Bike. Uno X, though, they're alongside Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe as the 3rd team behind Visma Lease Bike. So Uno X are making themselves known. They've actually got quite a lot of people still remaining. So they've about 4 people. Uno X have 4 riders towards the front. Little Trek are just in behind Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. Alex Bodin attacks out the... Alex Bodin's going solo. So Alex Bodin has attacked out of this breakaway. Nicholas Prodom looks around to see if anyone else is going. No one has anything left in the tank, and it is Alex Bodin. He's 1 minute and 7 seconds down on GC, and he is attacked out the front off the breakaway. So that now becomes a group of 5, and Alex Bodin is away on his own solo. And like I said earlier, we seen Alex Bodin win solo. He won solo in stage 1 of the Auvergne-Rhône Alps and took the yellow jersey in that. He's 1 minute and 7 seconds down on the GC. Hopefully, it would be pretty cool to see him win this stage and take the yellow jersey as well. But he needs to win by 1 minute and 8 seconds. That is going to be very hard with the peloton being 1 minute and 23 seconds down. Camera's back on the group of 5 as Nicholas Prodom he's the next one to accelerate out of this breakaway. Raul Garcia Pierna, there was a small gap on the others, but he was just getting something to eat. So it is now a group of 4 as Nicholas Prodom is actually closing the gap to Alex Bodin. So he didn't react at first, but he did have enough in the tank to do his own attack, and he is bridging across. So we are getting a group of 2 here as he's straight onto the wheel of Alex Bodin. 1 becomes 2. And it was a very good attack, Shelley, from both riders actually. Do I watch it on TNT? I do. Yes, I do. So it's Alex Bodin and Nicholas Prodom. They're up the road on their own. There's a group of 4 behind Van Mechelen, George Bennett, Raul Garcia Pierna, and Matteo Verchet. They are the 4 riders behind. The peloton 1 minute and 20 seconds. And then Arnaud Delis now 29 minutes. Oh. Arnaud Delis hasn't even crossed the border yet. Arnaud Delis still in Spain. Raul Garcia Pierna is the rider at the front of this group of 4 trying to chase down Alex Bodin and Nicholas Prodom. He pulls off to the side as Van Mechelen then comes through. But I don't think this group of 4 will be able to catch. I don't expect Matteo Verchet to be at the front at all. He was struggling on the Col de Tosses, that Category 1 climb. He was struggling at the back of the breakaway then. So I'm not expecting him to pull at the front. Van Mechelen has been towards the front quite a lot alongside Alex Bodin in the valley before this Category 3 climb. So maybe he goes to the front, but Raul Garcia Pierna, he was the first one to attack out of the big 18-man breakaway on the Col de Tosses. So he's actually done a lot himself. So, but I don't think they're going to catch them. I don't think they are going to make it. Camera's now on Tadej Pogacar. I don't know why, but they've just swapped the camera to Tadej Pogacar. Maybe they're expecting an attack from him. But there we go, UAE. Still 5 riders at the front. Isaac Del Toro in 4th wheel, Tadej Pogacar in 5th wheel, then it is Visma Lease Bike. No one else is towards the front. I can see Pidcock, he's about the middle, he's about sitting middle in the peloton. So we're a couple AF Education riders. I'm assuming Richard Carapaz. But Nicholas Prodom and Alex Bodin side by side actually, as Prodom now moves into the wheel of Alex Bodin. So they seem to be working together-ish. As of right now, they're working together. We will see how that turns out in a couple kilometres towards the top of this climb. But 32.5 kilometres to go. They're showing the virtual general classification now with Vingegaard in 2nd place, 17 seconds down on Alex Bodin in the yellow jersey. Slow-mo at the back of the Niels Pollitt. He's done for the day. That's how long ago was that? With a UAE team radio now. So I'm confused. Let me check who it is, because it's Tim. It's Tim Wellens. The commentator said it was Niels Pollitt. Then they did a radio from the car, and it was telling Niels Pollitt good job. And now they're showing Niels Pollitt waving at the camera. So camera production's all over the show, but UAE still down to 5. So the 5 remaining for UAE are going to be Grosschartner, Brandon McNulty, Adam Yates, Isaac Del Toro, and Tadej Pogacar. Matteo Jorgensen is on the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. Jonas Vingegaard's on the wheel of Jorgensen. We're doing about 30 kilometers an hour at 6%. We've got 8.4 kilometers until the top of this Category 3 climb. The gap between Alex Boudin and Nicolas Prudhomme is going to be 23 seconds to Van Mechelen, George Bennett, Raul Garcia Pierna, and Matteo Verchet. The UAE discussions at the head of the peloton have to scare other teams. I mean, if there's a rider sitting about second wheel and Tadej Pogacar calls him back to whisper something in your ear, yeah, I would start breaking it. Like, I would be, I'll know what's going to happen here. What is going to happen? Because Tadej Pogacar and Isaac Del Toro were talking in stage 2. They had a chat in stage 2. I did see Tadej Pogacar speaking. I didn't actually know what UAE rider it was. I couldn't see the number, but he was speaking to one of them today, not that long ago actually, about 20 kilometers ago. So I don't know what they're planning. Jens Voigt was on earlier. He was on the motorbike. He was saying that he spoke to the UAE team car and they said there's no plan today. I highly doubt that. Camera's now on Paul Sexas. Still got both of his arms bandaged up, but he is still in the peloton. He's got one teammate in front of him. That teammate is going to be Tish Benoot. He's got a teammate behind him as well in Paris-Pantre. Egan Bernal's still in the peloton as well. But Paul Sexas, like I said at the start of the stream, obviously he was there, but he wasn't there because he had 2 bike changes and he had to use a lot of effort to get back on. He finished 9th still, which is a very good result, but I think he could have finished potentially a lot higher if he didn't have those 2 bike changes and he was a lot fresher. But we will see in today's stage if he tries to do anything. Arnaud Delay has now hit the 30-minute mark. Yikes. That virus must be definitely hitting him because he's got Weisstroffer with him, and so that means Weisstroffer's 30 minutes down as well. So we've got 30 kilometers to go now. $30 to go. Actually, I'll get a poll going. Because why not? I don't even know who to put on it. Because I want to put Boudin and Prudhomme in it, but I have more faith in Boudin, so I'll skip out in Prudhomme. So I will, but I'll put Alex Boudin in the poll. I will also put Tadej Pogacar in the poll, obviously. I mean, if I didn't put him in the poll, I think he would probably grab me through the screen or something. But Tadej Pogacar is going in the poll. I don't actually know who else should have put in the poll. I'll just catching up what has been happening. Well, for about the past 30-ish kilometers, not a lot, but the start of the stage was crazy with the breakaway trying to get formed, crashes as well. Why is my nose so itchy? But a lot happened at the start of the stage when I wasn't live, and then when I do go live, nothing happens. No, but the Category 1 climb, the Col de Tosse says there was a few people breaking out of the breakaway. There was a big breakaway of about 16, 18 riders. Harold Tejada, Mara Schmidt, Luke Plapp, they were all involved, but they got caught by the peloton. Riders such as Alex Boudin, Nicolas Prudhomme, Van Mechelen, George Bennett, Raul Garcia Pierna, and Matteo Verchet. I said riders such as, but named every single rider there. The 6 riders that broke out of that original breakaway. And then Alex Boudin and Nicolas Prudhomme have broke out of that group of 6, and now they're on their own out the front. The peloton, 1 minute and 12 seconds down. It was sitting about 1 minute and 57 when I did go live. It was sitting about 1 minute and 50 as well when they hit the top of the climb, and then on the descent it dropped down to 1 minute and 30. We're on to the category 3 climb at the moment, and it's now down to 1 minute and 12. Grosschartner's at the front for UAE. 4 riders from UAE behind him, including Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogacar. Then we've got Visma Leasebike, Red Bull, Bora Hansgrohe, Uno X, and all your other candidates. Arnaud Delis, if you care about Arnaud Delis, he's currently 30 minutes down. He dropped right at the start of the stage, and he hasn't made it back. Obviously, he's still sick. There was a crash involving Bruno Amaral, Matthew Riccatello, Tobias Foss, Mikhail Kwiatkowski. They're all in a group. Supposedly, according to PCS, they're in a group 20 minutes down. So that is what it is currently looking like. We've got 5.7 kilometers until the top of the Col de Calvaire. But yeah, that about summarizes it. Alex Boudin's in the virtual yellow jersey, 5 seconds ahead of Jonas Vingegaard. So we will see how that goes. But where was I? I was on the poll. Who should I put into this poll? Do you know what? Do you know what, Nicholas? Just for now. Is that spelled right? I think it's spelled right. It'll have to be spelled right. It will have to be spelled right. So Nicholas Prodom is going to go into the. He's going to go into the poll. And good old Other is going into the poll as well. So there's a poll if you want to vote on it. I mean, the way things are going, I think Tadej Pogacar is winning the stage. I'll probably change the poll as the stage goes on, because I do think these guys are going to get caught here. That was a pretty cool camera angle there of the peloton coming around that corner. I think we might get a second break later. We could see, because there is after this climb, obviously there's another hill before another descent. So they finish the descent of this climb that they're currently on, the Col de Calvaire. Then there's a small hill in between this climb and the final climb. So we could see someone attack on it, catch someone off guard. We will have to wait and see. Fingers crossed that does happen, spice things up a bit. Camera's currently on Tom Pidcock, who is still in the peloton at the moment. He's got a teammate with him, that being, who's the teammate? Chris Harper. So he's got Chris Harper with him. He's actually towards the... he's towards the middle. Sorry, he's towards the middle. Apparently Delis was seen getting into the car when Visma Leasebike were doing the recon of the... Yeah, he was... there was a video came out of him getting into the back of the car when the recon was going on. And apparently he was really, really upset as well. But, I mean, he's continued on. And he's still going, so hopefully he finishes within the time limit. I hope he gets the time limit. So I do. I think he should get the time limit. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed anyway. Breakaway thinks they're going to stay away. That's what's happening. They're not going to, though. And there's a few guys off the back fighting the time cut. Yeah, the reason the breakaway isn't going to get this is because it took them so long to form. Like, it took about 40 kilometers, maybe even 50 kilometers to get an actual breakaway with a decent gap. And then when it hit the 2 minute mark, the peloton wouldn't let it go any further. And everyone trying to get into the breakaway used a lot of energy trying to get into the breakaway, so then they dropped off the back. So, I mean, everyone was saying, well, I'll not say everyone, because obviously a few people were saying GC day, but I was saying breakaway day. I've seen a lot of people saying, you know, this has, it does have the breakaway written all over it. Like, but I mean, stage 3 of the Tour de France, and we're going full out, and the breakaway struggling to get time. It's now down to, we're under a minute now between the peloton and Nicholas Prodom and Alex Boudin. So, I mean, it's a crazy start to the Tour de France. It's not going the way a lot of people have expected. And the GC, the top 5, just the top 10 in general for GC is class. I'm actually still sitting on the favourites list, so let me change that. I'll change that to the GC. Like, that top 10 for the GC is, I know it's only stage 3, but I think that top 10 is class. I think that's a brilliant top 10. are the two leaders French riders? They are indeed. Alex Boudin and Nicolas Prudhomme are both French. So the French will be loving this if either of them go on to win it. Stage 3 starts in Spain, finishes in France, and is won by a French rider. Assume the yellow jersey unlikely to change hands today despite all the speculation. You never know. You never know, Lynn, because Tadej Pogacar's 6 seconds down. So if he goes on to win the stage, there's 10 bonus seconds. There's Jonas Vingegaard down 4 seconds. So Jonas Vingegaard's going to have to finish in second to still be in it. If he finishes in third and Tadej Pogacar finishes in fourth, I think Tadej Pogacar goes into it now because he's had better results. But they'll both be on 0 seconds each. I think it would be wise to give UAE yellow, let them burn out their riders. The thing is, you think UAE are going to burn out their riders, and they just don't. They just keep coming back. Like that UAE team will be still like a train on stage 20. And if Visma Leasebike, if Bruno Amaral, if he finishes outside the time limit or he ends up abandoning after that crash, that's a big miss for them. So maybe they don't want the yellow jersey going into week 2 or the start of week 2. They've got them sprint stages, them long stages, the puncher stages, the breakaway stages. So maybe and you need a rider like Bruno Amaral for that to control that breakaway. Once you get yellow, they're not giving it back. I think you're right. I think you're 100% right, Stephanie. Once that yellow jersey's on Tadej Pogacar's shoulders, it'll be there until the 26th. The top 10 is most of the people in contention. Yeah, but I would say minus Lenny Martinez and Gregoire. I'd say that is, minus Gregoire and Lenny Martinez, all of those riders in that top 10 are in my top 10 predictions. Maybe that's why I like it so much. But there's a rider from Total Energies attacking out the front of the I think he was attacking. No, I think it's Verchet, Matteo Verchet, with the blue shoes. That's how I'm going to remember him now, Stephanie, because of the blue shoes. But he's been caught by the peloton, so then that means Van Mechelen, George Bennett, and Raul Garcia Pierna are the 3 riders remaining ahead of the peloton. They've got a gap of 12 seconds on the peloton, so they should get caught very soon here. Alex Boudin and Nicolas Prudhomme still have a gap of about 55 seconds on the peloton. I predicted this kind of chaos, if you remember. Not boosting. No, I don't remember that, Cap. I don't remember that at all, actually. Why don't more riders wear coloured shoes? I love his... It'd be pretty, yeah. The footballers and all do it. They have like their own personal... But I think Tadej Pogacar has his own shoe. I think he's probably the only rider with his own shoe. But you see a lot of other athletes with their own shoes. But I don't think cycling shoes are in fashion at the moment. But Grosschartner's still at the front. After Grosschartner, it'll be Brandon McNulty, and we've seen what he did yesterday. If he's on it today, he will close that gap like there's nothing tomorrow. George Bennett is about to get caught now. Don't think Visma can handle it. UAE are stronger. UAE is stronger, but if they burn their riders, it will even the game. We'll just have to see what happens. We'll just have to see, because both teams are strong. UAE's team whoa. How high is your man standing on something? He's standing on a cross with a massive French flag. He's a Quersat on him to be standing up there. But as I was saying, both teams are very strong. Obviously, UAE's team is a lot stronger, so I do suppose you could be right, Steve. If all the eyes are on them to control everything, Visma could be a lot fresher. Really thought a breakaway would get the gap today. Did UAE chase them down, or did a break not get that much of a gap? It was the riders trying to get into the breakaway. Richard Carapaz was trying to get into the break. Mathieu van der Poel was trying to get into the break. Every time Richard Carapaz went to get into the break, Visma Leasebike shot it down. Jorgensen hopped across. into the break a lot of the times with the riders that were trying to get away. I actually thought he was going to, try and get into the breakaway. I'm pretty sure he's like 8 minutes down or something like that. So that's why I assumed, he could be going for the stage win. But he was just covering all bases. But every time someone attacked, Viz Melissa bike weren't happy with him. Flat tire for Quinn Simmons. Quinn Simmons with a flat. See that little Trek bike that they're using. I think that is on. I think that bike is stunning. Such a nice bike. But at the back of the peloton here, who's at the back? Who's that for Appleson? Ramses De Bruyne. He was trying to get into the breakaway as well. No, hold on, whoa. Sorry, I thought that was a group back. I thought we were finally getting cameras on a group that's down in the peloton. But no, Ramses De Bruyne is still in the peloton. He's the last rider in the peloton. But the gap is now 47 seconds from Alex Bodin and Nicolas Prudhomme to the peloton. But I think Carapaz is only about a minute down. That's why they didn't want them getting away. You can let a rider like Carapaz go in stage 15 or stage 18, something like that, but you can't let him go in stage 3 because you never know what he could pull off. But Quinn Simmons, he has a bike change, and he's into the draft off the little Trek car, trying to make his way back. 400 meters to the top of this Col de Calvaire. The crowds are out in full force here. Massive crowds here after being told no crowds at all. Maybe this is as far as they go. I know there's no crowds at all. I'm pretty sure they've locked off the final climb. Final climb's 1.7 kilometers. I think they might have locked it off. But Alex Bodin, Nicolas Prudhomme, 280 meters until the top of the climb. Nicolas Prudhomme taps Alex Bodin on the back, says you can have the points, and he raises his arm in the air. As in, I think he's looking for a water bottle or something like that. But he says, Alex Bodin, you can have the points, mate. Don't worry. I'll settle for the 1 point. You can have 2. How generous. He gives him a point. That could actually play in his favour towards the end of the tour if he does go for the polka dot jersey. So, but look at the crowd. Oh, I thought Nicolas Prudhomme was going to take the point there on the line. I actually thought he was going to take that point on the line. So Nicolas Prudhomme and Alex Bodin. What's wrong with? Oh right, Nicolas Prudhomme. He's a bit warm. I thought he had a mechanical there over the top of the climb. Peloton 44 seconds down now. They're gonna get caught. Poor Alex Bodin. Poor Nicolas Prudhomme. But the virtual KOM jersey, as it stands, Alex Bodin, 12 points. He's the KOM leader as of right now. Depending on provided he wins the stage, I can't even speak. Provided he finishes the stage, he obviously won the Category 1 climb there, the Col de Tosses, so he got 10 points for that. He's on 12. Nicolas Prudhomme in second, 9 points. Raul Garcia Pierna in third with 6 points. So that's what the virtual KOM is currently looking like. Let me have a look at the poll, see what the poll's looking like. No votes for Nicolas Prudhomme. I expected that. That's why I didn't want to put him in the poll, but I put him in nonetheless. Alex Bodin with 7%, Tadej Pogačar 53%, and other 40%. Nicolas Prudhomme now, he's got about 3 bottles in his jersey, and he's waiting. He's waiting on the peloton, so it's Alex Bodin going solo, as Nicolas Prudhomme is waiting on the peloton. The gap is now up to 52 seconds. Onto the descent. Now you have to remember, he could be waiting. Obviously, he's waiting for his teammates. I don't know why I said he could be, but he's waiting for Paul Sexas. Paul Sexas has 2 teammates with him, Tish Benoit as well as Parry Pantra, getting water bottles for them, maybe. But, I mean, he's also a good rider to have for Paul Sexas for maybe the next 5-10 kilometres. I think the next hill coming up, I'm pretty sure I just heard Adam Blythe say it's about 2% average for the next hill at about 4 kilometres. Does it say? I don't think it does say. Let me check. Yeah, sorry, 1.9 kilometers at 4%. Sorry, that's what the next hill is after this one. But the crowds at the crowds at the top of that climb there, as they were crossing, about 5 people deep after being told not to. It'd be interesting to see what not what the crowds look like, but what the situation for the amount of people look like at the finish. Oh, pardon me. We're down to the final 20, 20.6, but we're into the final 20 kilometres. Sure, why not? At 600 metres, 500 metres don't count. Arnaud Delis 35 minutes down. 35 minutes down for poor Arnaud Delis. Alex Molinar, the polka dot jersey for this stage, he's 23 minutes down. But we're getting closer here. The peloton, 31 seconds. 31 seconds for the breakaway now. Question of the day: who is going to get dropped and who is going to get mogged? We finally got it. We finally got it. I mean, put it this way: Tadej Pogacar is not getting dropped today. I highly doubt that. But hello, empty. Vasek dropping off the back of the peloton there on the descent, obviously getting balls. But Vasek, I forgot Vasek was involved in that crash with Bruno Amaral as well. He was involved. I don't think, well, obviously he didn't come off worse because he's still in the peloton. But I forgot he was involved in it. 3 riders from Net Company went down in the crash alongside Riccatello, Amaral, and Vasek. But hopefully Net Company's luck does turn around. Egan Bernal was trying to, I said earlier, Egan Bernal was trying to get into the breakaway. He didn't get into the breakaway. He was caught in limbo between the breakaway and the peloton, and then he had to wait. But I mean, if Egan Bernal wins a stage here, I'd be speechless if he went on to win a stage. Obviously, he won a stage there in the Vuelta, but it was one of those stages where like the final 30 kilometers were chopped off because of protests. But I mean, a stage win's a stage win nonetheless. But I mean, if you can win a stage here at the Tour de France, that would be crazy. That noise is probably back as well. If you're wondering what that noise is, construction's being done in a house nearby. Can never work out the time cut, but Arnaud Delis definitely in danger. Near 36 minutes now, 35 and a half minutes. He is 100% in danger, and his teammate Weisstroffer's with him as well. PCS have taken Weisstroffer's name away from the Arnaud Delis group, so I don't know if Weisstroffer is still with him. He was originally the Lotto Intermarché rider that was told to drop back and help out. But I mean, if they lose Arnaud Delis to the time cut and then they lose Weisstroffer to the time cut, that's a bit of a sticky situation there. Hello, Joe. Right, I'm changing this poll. Right, because Alex Boudin, let's be honest, he's not winning. 23 seconds. His black shorts are almost white with the salt coming off him. But Alex Boudin definitely, at the moment, well, I mean, I don't care what happens. Alex Boudin's, he's my rider of the day. He has been brilliant. Very, very good from Alex Boudin. I'm pretty sure he was actually Domestiques, the news, not the news article, but the news platform. I'm pretty sure Alex Boudin was their favourite for the day. They give him a 5-star rating for the stage. Who should I put in this pool? That is the real question here. I mean, is there... I'm going to put Isaac Del Toro on it because Isaac Del Toro could go... Will he though? Remco Evenepoel could do something. Ooh. There's so many... I can only put 4. I can only put 3. Right? That's the thing. If I could put like 10, that would be 10 times better. I'll put... Jeez. 17 seconds the gap now for Alex Boudin on the peloton. Who should I put in this? I don't actually know. Right, Remco can go on it. Screw it. Remco can go. Remco's being added. And there's Alex Boudin. And in the distance, the peloton is around the corner now. So the peloton can see Alex Boudin. Poor Alex Boudin. But 17 seconds is the gap still. I don't think Jonas Vingegaard won the stage. Don't think Juan Ayuso will win it. Isaac Del Toro could, but we got the stage yesterday. You probably said Tadej. It's going to be Tadej Pogacar. It is literally going to be. I'm going to put Paul Sexas. Why not? That's because that's who I'm going for. I'm going for Paul Sexas to win it, even though it's completely out of the blue. But Paul Sexas is winning this stage. Mark my words. Other. So there is the new poll. I mean, vote on whoever you want, but it's most likely, it's going to be Paul Sexas, never mind. Dilly is useless, and Weisstroffer is back in the Gruppetto. Well, thank you, Joe, for that update. Yeah, Arnaud Dilly has not looked good at all. $15 kilometers to go. So we're getting close. I think they are starting, or they are at the bottom of this small hill, 1.9 kilometers long at 4%. But Alex Boudin you can see the peloton blurry, but it is still there in the distance. Joe's terrible right now. I feel for you, Joe. I actually thought Lotto and Roche brought a pretty solid squad. And I'm still holding out hope for a stage win for them. If Leonard locks in, I'll be happy. If Tadej wins the stage, if Tadej wins the stage, Alex Boudin's in the polka dot jersey nonetheless because he's on 12 points. Tadej Pogacar is in. If he wins the stage, he only gets 2 points, but Tadej Pogacar is currently in 1 point. He's got 1 point. I don't even think Tadej Pogacar has a point. He had no points for the first day because he got the fastest time up the hill or something. So I'll put the favourites back up because they were the favourites of the stage. Vasek is the only one remaining there in the top, apart from Pogacar and Remco Evenepoel. Vasek's the only one remaining. Gregoire and Van der Poel dropped. Ben Healy's dropped as well. Maxime Van Gils is probably still there. Quinn Simmons had a flat tyre, but apart from that, the only outsider there I would say would be Vasek amongst the favourites. Alex Boudin crosses the 15-kilometre banner. 14.8 kilometres to go. Maybe Pidcock, yeah. Potentially Pidcock, yeah. I think he's still sitting around roughly the middle of the peloton, so he could move up. I mean, Pidcock is a good shout, Steve. You've got me thinking. Could it be Pidcock? We'll have to see. Oh, pardon me. Scalmos as well. Yes, Anthony, you're right. Scalmos could pull something off. But 11 seconds. It went up 1 second, so there's no, it's back down to 10. I was going to say Alex Boudin still holding out hope. It's flicking between 10 and 11 seconds here. But Alex Boudin is going to get caught here. 14.3 kilometres to go. The polka dot jersey, along with 22. Oh, so there we go. Apparently Weisstroffer has joined that group. They're 25 minutes down. Oh. Bruno Amaral, Tim van Dijk, Kes Ball, Olav Koy, Matthew Riccatello, Davide Ballerini, Tobias Foss, Mikael Kwiatkowski, Tim Merlier, Van Lerberger, Lewis Askey, Huberts, Weisstroffer, Piet Algaard, Milan Fretten, Decline, Beasterros, Rob de Hont, Nicholas Markle, Julius van den Berg, Gaviria, and Molinar are the 22 riders according to PCS in that 25-minute down group. Picnic Post with 4 riders there. Yikes. Decathlon with 3. Obviously, Matthew Riccatello would have been in this peloton, but he did crash earlier alongside Amaral, Foss, Kwiatkowski, and Vasek. But the crash must be affecting him. Pidcock never seems to ride at the front. Yeah, I suppose. Well, we've seen Q36 at the front of the peloton doing the work. For the first half of yesterday's stage, UAE took over. Then they disappeared, went towards the back. Didn't see much of Pidcock. We actually did after the first lap around the Montjuic. He was at the back of the peloton. Then for the second lap round, he sat about 4th rider the full time. So he moves to the front when he wants to, and he just sits comfortably in the peloton. So because he doesn't need to do anything. He just he's got a teammate in front of him, and he'll just sit comfortable in the middle of the peloton until it's time to show yourself at the front. But I mean, I don't think Mads Pedersen's going to be in the green jersey after this stage. Obviously, he's virtually in the green jersey at the moment. He won the sprint. He won the intermediate sprint. Now he's on 37 points. But Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogacar are the. Tadej Pogacar's in 25, Remco 22, Isaac Del Toro 30. So it looks like we're going to get a GC winner here. I think Isaac Del Toro will probably still stay in the green, depending if he finishes top 5. Tadej Pogacar will probably go into it. That actually it does. It finishes on a category 3 climb. So do you still get sprint points for it? I'm not 100%. I don't think you might. I'm not 100% on that one. Oh, 7 seconds is the gap now. 6. Alex Boudin's day is done, unfortunately. Matteo Verche, camera's on him. He's at the back of the Decathlon car. I think he's dropped off the back of the peloton now, but there is the peloton, and there's Alex Boudin out of the saddle for one last time, but the gap is now 6 seconds. I think Grosschartner's still at the front for UAE. A massive ride from Grosschartner, unless it is Brandon McNulty at the moment. Boudin's not giving up though. He's not giving up. He's stuck the head down. He's still going with a gap of 4 seconds. He's not. Fair play to Boudin. Fair play indeed. Arnaud Delis going to hit 40 minutes here. There's still 10 kilometers. Is he crossed the border yet? Arnaud Delis has just crossed the border. He crossed the border about 5 kilometers ago. Oh, and now he's got that 11.5 kilometer climb. He is done. He could finish an hour down. That's not what you want to see, like. But there we go. Alex Boudin sits up. He knows the peloton's there. He looks around. And Grosschartner comes through with Brandon McNulty, Adam Yates, Isaac Del Toro, Tadej Pogacar, the Visma Lease bike team, the Red Bull team, and everyone else. Pardon me, but there we go. 11.2 kilometers to go. And we have got the peloton hitting the final climb as one. Don't forget, if you are new, I'll change this to 10 kilometers, but if you are new, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I will be live again tomorrow for stage 4, and I will be live every single day, bar the rest days, until stage 21. So if you're new, you enjoy watching along for the Tour de France, talking about cycling, subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. The road to 1,000 is still on. I wasn't happy with Brazil losing Cat. I mean, Brazil were awful the whole World Cup. I must admit they were awful, but I never like seeing Brazil go out. Agreed, Shelley. brilliant day by Boudin. Very, very good. My rider of the day. Alex Boudin is my rider of the day. What would be the time limit for this stage? I don't actually know. What's this? I'm trying to see if there's anything to say about the finishing outside the time limit, but I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't know what the time limit is. Is it fair that Boudin won the prize for the most combative rider? It is fair. Very fair for Alex Boudin. Very fair indeed. Do I race myself? I do not race. I just like to switch on the TV and watch the race. So that's my preference. But yeah, I do not race. No. But we've got the full peloton here. They're on a descent. They finished that 1.9 kilometer, 4% hill, whatever you want to call it. But on the descent of it now, they've got three groups up. The peloton, 8.5 kilometers to go. Then we've got the polka dot jersey, 25 minutes down, and then we've got Arnaud Delis, 38 minutes and 14 seconds. Yikes indeed. But it's still Grosschartner at the front. So coming into this final climb, UAE are gonna. They're probably. I mean, UAE will probably finish the top four places, first to fourth, if they keep this up. But the peloton is relatively small. Like I'd say, there's about maybe 50 riders in this peloton, maybe a bit less. Tadej Pogacar sat in fifth wheel. Isaac Del Toro in fourth wheel. Jonas Vingegaard is sat in seventh wheel. But what team is that? Movistar are making themselves known. I'm sure the cyclists would love to be on that water park there. I'm sure they're boiling. 7 kilometers to go, so we're well into the final 10 kilometers. Team radio coming in from AF Education. I'm going to guess it is, congratulating Alex Boudin. Well, not congratulating, but saying, well done, fair play for that effort. Yeah, bravo, Alex. So yeah, a lot of props to Alex Boudin for that. And we're now uphill, so this is us uphill now to the final. The climb doesn't start though until 1.7 kilometers to go, but we are now uphill the whole way to the finish. Little Trekker making themselves known, but Grosschartner out of the saddle. He's still at the front. I'm pretty sure he'll be pulling off to the side soon, and Brandon McNulty will take over. But for the final climb, like I said, 1 point. So they've got 5 kilometers until they hit the I wouldn't even call it the bottom of the final climb, but the start of the final climb. First 400 meters are about 6%. Then from the next 800 meters, 8.5, 6.7%, and then the final 500 meters are 6.5%. That was probably really random way to call it out, but PCS have it done in the 400 meter section. So Egan Bernal's still there. Who else is that for Net Company? They've still got another rider there as well. Tymon Arensman. Uno X have 3 riders remaining. Is Tobias Halln? Yes, he is still there. Paul Sexas still there with his 3 teammates now. Nicholas Prodhomme, Parry Pantre, and Tish Benupa there towards the back of the peloton. They're going to need to move him up fairly quickly. Let me have a quick look at the poll. Tadej Pogacar is 72% of the vote. 22% are for other. 6% for Remco, 0%. So I'm the 1% club for Paul Sexas to get this stage. I will take it. Underdog status. I'm happy enough to go with it. A Belgian victory today would be awesome, but hopefully the United States beats Belgium in the knockout round, just because the United States always suck at football. I can't even speak. Bernal is still there. I'm happy Bernal. So hopefully, I hope he's able to get into a breakaway this tour. But bird's eye view of the peloton, Tadej Pogacar is still in 5th wheel. Jonas Vingegaard still in 7th wheel. Little Trek are sort of moving up a bit. I'd say Juan Ayuso's sitting about 10th wheel at the moment. But he's got Quinn Simmons in front of him, as well as, who is that? Who is that for Little Trek? Carlos Verona. So he's got Carlos Verona and Quinn Simmons in front of him. He's got Vasek behind him. Where's Skelmuza? Remco Evenepoel is still there. He's alongside Vasek and behind Juan Ayuso. Egan Bernal is behind Vasek. So we've still got some decent... They're all towards the front. The only one I would say is not there is Paul Sexas. No? I suppose Paul Sexas would probably be the only one with question marks as to why he's not towards the front. Alex Bodin, the last rider in the peloton, he's still hanging on. 5.2 kilometers to go. We're going to hit the 5 kilometer mark in a minute, but I'm going to change it to 5 kilometers anyway. But Grosjean's still at the front here. Massive effort from Grosjean. They're hitting the 5 kilometer banner now. And there's still some form of a crowd. I'd say about 5 people on either side of the road at the 5 kilometer banner. It'll be more interesting in the final 1 kilometer though, seeing what the crowd is like there, and if the organisers have actually allowed the crowd to be on the final climb. They advise no one to be attending the race in the final 40 kilometers, but no one seemed to have listened to them at the top of the second last climb, as there was a massive crowd there. But there's Alex Bodin and George Bennett dropping off the peloton, as well as Raul Garcia Pierna. So 3 breakaway riders held on to the final 5 kilometers, and they are out the back as well. Valentin Paripantria moving up towards the front here as well. He's on the wheel of what seems Quinn Simmons, but he's got Ilyan Van Wilder on his wheel. He's a good shout as well. Van Wilder could be a good shout. But peloton spreads across the road. Valentin Paripantria with Ilyan Van Wilder on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we've got UAE with obviously Tadej Pogacar and Isaac Del Toro. In the middle, we've got Carlos Verona, Quinn Simmons, Vasek, Juan Ayuso. So the teams are starting to show themselves now. They are locals apparently. Well, there was a at the top of that second to last climb, there was a bunch of German fans. So unless they're local to the area, but I think the people at the side of the road now are going to be locals. But a bird's eye view. Little Trekker taking up the right hand side of the road. Juan Ayuso's going to go for this now. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't see Skelmuza. Carlos Verona, Quinn Simmons, Vasek, and Juan Ayuso. I don't see Skelmuza anywhere. On the left-hand side of the road is UAE. Visma Leasebike are moving up on the right-hand side of the road, though, of UAE now. So Visma Leasebike are making themselves known at the front. Total Energies are moving up. I think that's Total Energies. I mean, fair enough. Here's Decathlon now. 4 riders from Decathlon moving up on the right-hand side to take the far right-hand side of the road now on Little Trek. But Decathlon are making themselves known now at the front. So we've got 2 riders in front of Jonas Vingegaard. It's either going to be Matteo Jorgensen, Seb Kuss, Davide Peganzoli. We've got 3 riders in front of Isaac Del Toro and Tadej Pogacar, being Grosjean, Adam Yates and Brandon McNulty. But here we go. 3.4 kilometers under the more narrow roads as Seb Kuss launches Jorgensen. But what is going on here? Jorgensen and Seb Kuss are both out of the saddle, accelerating side by side. Vingegaard's still on the wheel. Valentin Paripantria is done. They cut the camera from the front and we're now looking at the back. I hate the way they do this. 3.2 kilometers to go. It was all kicking off at the front. Adam Yates is now at the front of the peloton alongside Matteo Jorgensen. Quinn Simmons is also looking good here on the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard. But Vasek's here. I tell you what, Vasek is looking pretty good. Obviously, they're going to be trying to get Juan Ayuso up there, but Vasek's still being there. I keep forgetting he's just really good at climbing now. Mads for the win. I don't think Mads Pedersen's still here. Someone needs to give Pog a run for his money and make it interesting. They do indeed. And that's what I'm hoping Remco... To be fair, Red Bull, I haven't seen Red Bull at the front. Oh, Visma Elisabeth go left on the roundabout. Little Trek go right, and Visma Elisabeth get the better of it, as now 4 riders break off the front of the peloton. Jorgensen, Jonas Vingegaard, Adam Yates and Seb Kuss. Tadej Pogacar now closing the gap on this one. Quinn Simmons as well. They've closed the gap, but it is Jorgensen, Adam Yates, Jonas Vingegaard, Seb Kuss, or potentially Peganzoli, but now Tadej Pogacar. He rolls up alongside Jonas Vingegaard. Quinn Simmons still in the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. Decathlon there yet again trying to move up on the right hand side of the road, but they get blocked off by Little Trek for the second time. Red Bull now on the left hand side of the road. They are coming up. Is that Kian Uterbrooks and Harald Tejada dropping off the back? Little Trek's Vasek, he is at the front on the left hand side of the road with a rider from Decathlon on his wheel. Paul Sexas on the wheel of Tadej Pogacar. So at the moment on the right hand side of the road, Vasek, rider from Decathlon. Then we've got Red Bull, 3 riders from Red Bull on the left hand side. That rider from Decathlon's just moved off, so it's all over the place. Vasek is still at the front. Jonas Vingegaard in 3rd wheel. Tadej Pogacar in 5th wheel. Paul Sexas in 6th wheel on the wheel of Tadej Pogacar alongside a Red Bull rider. 1.7 kilometers, so we are now at the foot of this climb. The final climb, Category 3 climb. Vasek pulls off to the side. It is now Red Bull who take over at the front. Jonas Vingegaard side by side with what looks like Jai Hindley at the front maybe. Remco Evenepoel on the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard. Maxime Van Gils, he's done for the day. He's out the back. Round this bend, Isaac Del Toro comes up on the inside with Tadej Pogacar on his wheel. He now goes to the front. Jonas Vingegaard is on the wheel of Jai Hindley. Jai Hindley and Isaac Del Toro side by side here with 1.5 kilometers to go. Who's going to do what? Seb Kuss now coming up on the left-hand side of the road. He takes control at the front of the race. Jonas Vingegaard coming up on the right-hand side of the road. He's going to go into the wheel of Seb Kuss. He doesn't actually. Isaac Del Toro does, and Jonas goes into the wheel of Isaac Del Toro. Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard 1.4 kilometers side by side in 3rd wheel. Tadej Pogacar gets a better off that corner though and moves in front of Jonas Vingegaard. Remco Evenepoel on the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard in 5th wheel. Richard Carapaz is there as well. He's on the wheel of Jonas Vingegaard alongside Remco Evenepoel. Paul Sexas is there with Jonas Vingegaard as well. He's now got a teammate in front of him, that being Tish Benut or Parry Pantry, one of the two. Tobias Hal Johannesson is there as well. They're just showing a rider from Bahrain dropping off the back. 1.1 kilometers to go. Seb Kuss and Isaac Del Toro at the front. Seb Kuss on the inside, Isaac Del Toro on the right, on the outside. Seb Kuss is done. It is now Isaac Del Toro at the front in the 1 kilometer banner. Pogacar in 2nd wheel. Jonas Vingegaard in 3rd wheel. Remco Evenepoel in 4th wheel. Paul Sexas in 4th wheel actually. Remco's in 5th wheel. Carapaz in 6th and Tobias Hal Johannesson in 7th. 850 meters to go. And it looks like we're getting a lead out for Tadej Pogacar. I hope Paul Sexas is able to get this one. 750 meters to go. Still Isaac Del Toro at the front. Tadej Pogacar still 2nd. Vingegaard, Paul Sexas, Carapaz. Leonard Van Etfeldt is there for Lotto Intermarché. Juan Ayuso, I can see him as well. He's on the wheel of Carapaz and Leonard Van Etfeldt. I need to take a deep breath here for this to see what's going to happen. Still the same order. Isaac Del Toro doing his job at the front. See what's going to happen here. Who's going to make the first move? Isaac Del Toro, 500 meters to go. He now gets out of the saddle. Paul Sexas. Tell you what, Paul Sexas is looking pretty good here in 4th wheel. Jonas in 3rd. Tadej Pogacar in 2nd. But Isaac Del Toro is out of the saddle here. 400 meters to go and he's still out of the saddle. Who's going to launch first? Obviously all eyes are going to be on Tadej Pogacar to launch first because I don't see Jonas launching first here. But here we go. Here we go. Paul Sexas launches first on the right-hand side of Jonas Vingegaard. He can't get round him. He sits back down, but Tadej Pogačar launches on the right-hand side of Isaac Del Toro. Jonas Vingegaard in his wheel, looks over the shoulder. Tadej Pogačar gaps Jonas Vingegaard, and he's got 100 metres to go. He's still out of the saddle. He is ripping it up this climb. He's actually going to gain time on the rest of the riders, with Jonas Vingegaard now out of the saddle. 50 metres to go, but Tadej Pogačar crosses the road in first. Hands in the air, massive roar. Jonas crosses Carapaz, Sexas, Tobias Helen Johannesson, Leonard Van Etveldt, couple of Red Bull riders, Juan Ayuso and Isaac Del Toro. Bit of an anticlimactic sprint, because you sort of knew he was going to win, but Paul Sexas got out of the saddle. He had nothing in the legs to do it. I thought he had a bit more than what he was showing, but that is Pogačar with his first win of this year's Tour de France. It didn't take him too long. Stage 3, he grabs it, but he does win, and I'm pretty sure he's going into the yellow jersey after that one. I'm pretty sure he took some time on the other guys. Fairly sure he did. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. I'll be live again tomorrow, and I'll be live for every single stage. I'm not ending it just yet. I'm just expecting people to drop out now. But don't forget to subscribe. Join again tomorrow. Watch along. Talk cycling. All that yada yada. But that's Pogačar wins. Where was Pidcock? Where was Bernal in that? PCS just mentioned their names there, but I'm asking the question, where are they? But here we go. We're getting the slow-mo of it. I mean, Richard Carapaz finishing in third after trying to get into the breakaway at the start of the day. I mean, that is a fairly good result for that one. Boring as ever. I mean, it's the first day. It'll get boring after the 10th stage one. So it will. But it's still the first one. No problem, Steve. Jonas did let him go. Jonas looked at him, watched him accelerate, looked over his shoulder to see everyone else's, and then when he looked back around, he seen Tadej Pogačar had a gap on him, and he was like, oh shit, got out of the saddle himself, and then he started sprinting. They're giving a bird's eye view of it. Jonas looks over the shoulder, sees Tadej Pogačar is opening a massive gap with that sprint. Then he gets out of the saddle, tries to close it. He doesn't even close it a tiny bit. I'd say he got a couple seconds there in the. I'm gonna wait for the provisional top 10, but Pogačar's gonna go in the yellow, take the 10 bonus seconds, and he's gonna take a couple more seconds as well. There we go. Apparently he won by 2 seconds, because he was 6 seconds down. Jonas Vingegaard got the 6 bonus seconds in second, so that puts him even on 0 seconds. But Tadej Pogačar gets a gap in that sprint by 2 seconds. Hopefully it stays like that. I mean, it stays this close for the remainder of the 3 weeks. No problem, Shelley. No problem, Kat. No problem, Stephanie. No problem, Empty. No problem, Rubber. But here we go. We've got the top 10. So Tadej Pogačar wins it. Vingegaard in second, Carapaz in third, and Paul Sexas in fourth, all 2 seconds down. In fifth, 4 seconds down is Johannesson. 6th is Van Etveldt, 7th is Lipowitz, 8th is Evenepoel, 9th is Del Toro, and 10th is Juan Ayuso. So from 5th to 10th, all 4 seconds down. 2nd to 4th, 2 seconds down. Tadej Pogačar, Slim Shady, he is the winner of the stage. So he is 96% of boredom, followed by 4% of what just happened, which is what makes it exciting. Work for me the rest of the week, but I'll be back next weekend. No problem, Stephanie. See you then. Pog is in the yellow jersey. Yep, Tadej Pogačar in the yellow jersey, and it didn't take him too long to do so. Thanks for the great stream. Unreal from Pog. See you tomorrow. No problem, man. Not normal. You just enjoy your beer on the beach. Jonas still stronger than the rest, though. Yeah, Jonas is still. I mean, a lot of people were saying Paul Sexas was going to destroy Jonas Vingegaard stage 3, and I mean, he finished in the same time, but he didn't. He hasn't beat him yet. Pogačar has lower time trial time, so he is in yellow. I'm going to listen to the breakaway. No problem, Shelley. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. I will, obviously, I'll be back tomorrow for stage 4. Stage 4 looks like it could be another potential breakaway day. I will have I'll have a prediction up very soon on YouTube, so keep an eye out for that. But thank you for watching. If you did start watching from when I how long about 2 hours I've been live for, jeez. So if you started watching 2 hours, greatly appreciate it. If you joined in there for the last couple of minutes, still greatly appreciated. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe as well, as I will be live tomorrow, and I will be live until the 26th, which is stage 21. Thank you, and yeah, no problem, Kat. See you later. But yeah, that's the end of the live. Thank you so much for watching the Final K, and I will see you tomorrow. All the best.